I've covered much of this material before in the video Mental Case in Dealey Plaza. I dealt with this ball play as relating to Malcolm Jerry Hoy. I'm not going to go through all the detail of that video again. If you're interested, you could go watch that. But new information, or information that is new to me, has come to my attention. And so I'm going to make a video that refers to that new information in relation to this other information. And I'll start here with this FBI report of an interview with John F. Dolan, who was a witness in Dealey Plaza. John F. Dolan, 6311 Martell Street, advised he is employed at the Sportatorium, Industrial Boulevard, and Cadiz, Dallas, Texas. According to Mr. Dolan, he was stopped at the eastern edge of the Triple Viaduct, where the three streets of Commerce, Main, and Elm merge on November 22, 1963. The reason being traffic was held up at this point since the presidential motorcade was approaching this section of Dallas. Inasmuch as all traffic was stopped, he got out of his car and stood at the base of the Triple Viaduct, facing toward the concrete memorial, which is on the north side of Elm Street and just west of the Texas School Book Depository. So Dolan is in the same area as James Tague. It is commonly acknowledged that James Tague is that guy I circled in red, and I haven't seen anyone else say so, but I think that Dolan must be the guy I have circled in blue there. As he was standing at this point, and prior to the arrival of the presidential motorcade, he noticed an unknown white male tossing a white ball about the size of a softball in the air. This person would throw the ball up and seem to catch it himself, and it caught his eye inasmuch as this person appeared to be about 30 years of age and was wearing white sneakers. He further described this individual as being about 6 feet tall, with black curly hair, wearing dark-colored jacket and nondescriptive pants. He also doubted if he would ever recognize this individual were he to see him again. Shortly after he noticed this individual, the presidential motorcade came into view, and from where he stood he could hear 3 shots fired at the president's car. He advised he did not see where these shots came from, nor who fired these shots, but thought possibly the individual whom he has described and who was standing on the Grassy Triangle between Elm and Main Streets might possibly have been either a decoy or a signal for the assassin when to shoot. He concluded by saying that he had no particular reason for this thought, but merely wished to volunteer this information to the FBI. And looking at the photography, it seems to me there's only one person that this could possibly be that you can see in the photography, and it's the man who runs after the shooting. He's running away from the overpass, and here in the Pascal film you can see him running, and he is also visible in the Zapruder film. You can also see him in the Bell film, and he's carrying something in his right hand, which is white like a softball, but it doesn't look like it's shaped like a softball. And he's not wearing white sneakers, that's for sure. He's wearing dark shoes of some kind. And there's only one person in this area who seems to be wearing white sneakers or white shoes of some kind. They look like they're high up on the ankle footwear. But this is a woman with a man here. I don't think anyone's ever identified them. So I think maybe Dolan has, in his memory, conflated this woman's sneakers with the feet, the footwear of the ball thrower. And that might be understandable because apparently this couple, including the woman with the white sneakers, go over to the man I'm calling the ball thrower here, and they go have a talk with him or a confrontation or something. And this is from the Daniels film. You can see the two of them are walking over, And the running guy seems to have stopped running and even looks like he's turned to face these two. At least that's the way it looks to me. And right there, it looks like they walk right up to him. I get the impression this couple is upset with him, but it's hard to tell that from the photography. And this is a single frame from that film. I don't have the whole film in this higher quality, but it looks like the running guy has turned to face these two. And it almost looks like the man is holding the woman back in this particular frame. But anyway, I think the woman is the only person here who might be wearing white sneakers, white shoes of some kind. And so I think probably Dolan, the witness, has somehow conflated her footwear with the running guy's footwear. That's my guess. And this is from the McIntyre photo on the west side of the overpass. And I've circled the area where John F. Dolan is. That might be him visible in the left area of the blue oval. And I've circled the area where I think he must have seen the ball thrower. But this is just after what we saw in the Daniels film. And you can see our three people there in the middle rightish area on the right where the overpass begins. And it looks to me like the ball thrower, the running man, might actually be on the ground here, as if maybe somebody hit him real hard. I might be imagining this, but I get the feeling that these two people were very upset with the running guy, ball thrower. And in my other video, The Mental Case in Dealey Plaza, I pointed out the similarities between this running man who's carrying something and one of the three tramps. And I know the tramps have been officially identified, but I don't always believe what the official story says. And I'm not certain it's the same guy, but it looks like it could be the same guy. And in that other video, I related that tramp to Malcolm Jerry Hoy. Of course, the Malcolm Jerry Hoy insert photo there was taken many years later. To me, they look very similar, and I'm not certain that that's who that tramp is, but I think they look very similar even with the age difference. And then there's Jack Franzen, who's in the same area. He's a little east of that couple where the woman has the white sneakers. And he's standing there supposedly with his son, Jeff, and his wife. And this is where the information comes from that is new to me. It comes from Jack Franzen. And this comes from a web page which purports to be by one of the children of Jack Franzen. And it's Franzen apparently having been recorded and this being the transcription. So looking over toward Main Street, there are a lot of people lined up there. So we walked on down to the Grassy area just short of the triple underpass. And I don't imagine at that time there were 20 people in that whole area. We had a ball, and Jeff and I were tossing the ball back and forth, and a few people came along, and we moved further west down the hill. So we have Franzen saying, 34 years later, that he and his son were playing catch. And this is very, it would be very odd, I think, if this is another ball, and that there were two balls being thrown around. I think Dolan probably would have noticed that. So this just confuses it all for me. I'm wondering if maybe Jack Franzen saw this guy throwing the ball, and that he just added this element to his own story to make it seem like his son was really there. I think he wasn't. But it could be that Dolan saw Franzen and the boy playing catch, and somehow he conflated it with... that seems unlikely to me, though, because Dolan said he remembered this person because he seemed to be strange in that he was a little old, to be wearing sneakers and throwing a ball up in the air. The reason he remembered him, it seems, is that he was throwing the ball up in the air and catching it himself. So I really don't know what to make of this. It's become more confusing to me than it was before. But I thought I would make this video because it's... I get the feeling that all of these people that appear in this video have some kind of involvement, and that many of them, or maybe all of them, didn't know what was going to happen. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to make sense of it.